Hello. Can you hear me okay? Decided to try and play this today. Cool, you can hear me okay? Hey Denny. So what does anyone want to talk about? I was gonna try and do in the wee small hours of the morning at some point today, so I'll probably do a bit of talking about that. Let me know if you want to talk about anything else other than jazz guitar or... it's not my favourite, Denny, but it'll do. I'm just borrowing it for a few days. So I wanted to kind of put it through its paces and see if I could get on with it, and it turns out it does. I think I prefer it to the custom shop one, the red Strat that you've seen me playing a couple of times. I don't think I'd put it in the same bracket as liking as my K-lines, but let me find my jazz tone and I'll try and sort of play some of this. Here we go. So weirdly enough, the version that I've been listening to this tune, so someone emailed me fairly early in the morning for them. Oh, awesome. Let's hope she doesn't wreck it for us. Right, so someone sent me this tune and said, I think you like this one, and I've been listening to a Jamie Cullum version of it, which weird. Yeah, you can probably hear dogs. That's what they like to do. So I've not had loads of time to work on it this week because I had a gig last night, weirdly enough, on bass. So I was preparing for that and sort of helping Jake out. So I'll try and kind of play where I'm at with it, and I'm going to try and record a version of it this evening and put that up for you. And I'll put up a chord melody on Patreon and a backing track. That's the plan anyway. Hey Mike. That was dodgy, but that's kind of what I've been working on today. So up till today, the melody was in my head, so I've just been playing it and trying to figure out the rough shape of what I think the chord melody would be. But I think it's a really pretty tune, kind of chill, and that's the way that I like things to go. Hey JL Trim. My go-to band, the one you wouldn't expect me to jam, the 1975. Right, so I'm going to change up preset a bit and maybe try and do something a little bit more out there. What have we got here? The tune I'm trying to play, Mike, is in the wee small hours of the morning. So there's a Jamie Cullum version, which I think is really pretty, and it starts off with these like horns doing this. Just a really cool like 4-part harmony. There's that dog again. freeze that, is it? My opinion on stock cabs versus IRs on the Helix, I think you can get very usable tones out of both. Do I use notation software? Yeah, I use MuseScore, which is free and seems to me to do the job mostly. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. Hey Jason, hope you're doing good. How am I going to get that to freeze? Because I need something that's going to work. So, I haven't actually tried soloing over it properly yet, so I guess that should be my next stage realistically. So I'll try and do some of that for you to laugh at. So where do we go for this? Here we go. So if we have the looper in half speed mode, maybe we'll get enough out of that. Hey Sasha, enjoying the QC. The boss chorus that I did a video of, I'm not really a chorusy person, to be honest with you, Thomas, so probably not the best person to ask. I didn't have any issues with it. It doesn't seem to be able to do sort of crazy choruses. I think that was kind of my experience of it. Nice to have that stereo-ness, although I think it's unaffected on one of those, so it's not like a proper stereo. The HX Stomp effects, or the HX effects, can do all the choruses that I need out of a chorus pedal, and obviously plenty more. This bit's Nearly. Right, I could probably work with that. Hey Steve. I'll try and start over it and see what happens. Sorry, that little change is really deep. So I think my loop must have been just over a minute long. So it's chopping, which is tripping me out. So that was the first time actually playing over it accompanied. So some of that worked okay. The bits that are interested to me is this little move to D major for a second. And this one. I don't really know how other versions of it go yet. There we go. So what I'm thinking of for this tune is that we're largely in B flat major for it. Chord 4, chord 3, chord 2, chord 4, chord 5 in first inversion, D minor 3. Then we have this dominant 7 sharp 11, so I think we talked about this a little bit. So what that means for me is that that's chord 4 of the melodic minor if it's got a sharp 11 in it. So over that I'm playing D melodic minor. And then it resolves to an E minor, so 2 5 1. So moving to D major, and then to D minor, little turn around, up to C minor, then to B flat in second version, and then we got this really chewy chord, which I'm thinking of like an E flat 7 sharp 11, but in an inversion. So over that, I'm thinking B flat melodic minor. I think. So something's not right there. I don't know what I'm thinking over that. Over that. So I need to think of a different. Maybe that would work better. So then I'd be having a C in it, an F, a C, sorry, an A, an F, and then that D flat, which would give me, that's an actual inversion of that, right? Let's just try that. Another little pass. Hey Raphael. Hey Jim. Something like that. So that's essentially what my practice looks like for a lot of this jazz stuff. It's just trying to get comfortable actually playing the tune. I think Pat Metheny, I think, was one of the people that I first kind of read talking about this, where, you know, just spend a lot of time playing one tune until you can remember it, and until you're not really thinking super carefully about how it is that you're navigating it, until it starts to just be a thing. Video on some Silver Sky XFX 3 tones. Not a bad idea. So if anyone's got anything they want to talk about, I don't want to go super long today just because it's boiling hot in this room, and I was gigging last night. So if you've got things that you want to talk about, let's go for it. Otherwise, I'll just carry on doing this thing for a little while longer. But I just wanted to just try this Silver Sky and catch up with you guys. I haven't done a live in a little while, but feel free to talk about things if there are questions or whatever. Mike asked about the single coil guitar with a budget of 600. Maybe aside from the Sire stuff, I can't think of stuff in that range which is particularly exciting to me. Maybe some of the Squire vintage modified stuff might be cool if you can find a good one of those, or maybe a Mexican Strat of some form. The Silver Sky, the radius is just very comfortable for me. It feels like the radius is not an issue at all for me. It might be for some people, but I did have a Jim, it's really good of you to stop by. Can you get on and edit your podcast so that the world can actually hear from your chap? Setup I used for my gig, it was actually a bass gig, so I had the HX Effects doing some of the drive for it actually. So I had the dark glass obsidian thingy, so that was, you know, when I had to do like a rockier chorus. But aside from that, I just used, I think, a Jens Benz head, which is boring but fine. Jim and James Chew the Cud podcast. You should check it out, guys, if you haven't. They don't post regularly. It's cool. It's a really good way to get discovered. It's available wherever you get your podcasts from. But luckily I don't have any blisters yet, so that's cool. Normally after a bass gig, or two bass gigs in a row, I would probably have blisters on my right hand, but I don't at the moment. Right. I'm using the Helix right now. fight with chords now. Cool, so that kind of thing. Right, I'm going to do a little bit of playing with a little groovier backing track just for a second and see if anyone has any other questions to ask about stuff. What am I doing? This one. This is the one I want. Hopefully it'll work. That's just what I'm working on at the moment, that particular tune. Here's a new favourite backing track. Really boiling hot in here, sorry. Yeah, it's actually higher output pickups than my normal K lines. What's the main effects I have running? I'm just using Helix, Josh. Thank you for asking. Yeah, my two K lines, I would say I think I prefer. They both have older strings on them, so it's not necessarily a totally fair comparison. This has got fairly new strings on it, but this guitar feels very resonant, which is nice. It's a cool guitar, definitely, and I really enjoy it. The pickups, as I say, are hotter output. I've got a lot of dirty blondes in the blue K line, and I think that's got Kleins in it, the yellow Strat. I do think I prefer it to the Defender Custom Shop, to be honest. It's gone out of tune. Have I not put that one up yet? I think I put that one up. I've not actually heard the song Last Train Home. What camera am I using? Helix preset I was using, Wayne, was Eric Combined. Sort of one of my favourites to play. The camera is a Sony A7R2. Do I like the HX Effects for live over the Stomp? I don't know. I've not experimented with two. The one good thing about the HX Effects over the HX Stomp, maybe in that regard, is that you don't have like an output control, which could potentially simplify things a little bit, if that makes sense. You don't have as much of a screen on the HX Effects. It's a little bit more difficult to tweak stuff on the fly for me personally. But it was really good, and obviously you've got more buttons, so for live I feel like that's a good way to go. Yeah, I don't know, it did well last night. I did enjoy that. I have got that other backing track for you, Jason, so I'll just have another little crack with this. Feel free to keep asking questions if you've got them. Yeah, I'm using the Helix right now. Oh, it's really boiling in it. Right. Yeah, so for anyone who had, I don't know, other people out there who, I think the Silver Sky got a little bit of hate and stuff, didn't it? Which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If you've actually played one, I think they're pretty cool. You know, I'm not sure that these white buttons and stuff look amazing, but it is a guitar. Jake. If I save this. Enjoy your brunch. Thanks for stopping by. I'm not going to go for much longer anyway, so you're not missing much. And even if I was, you wouldn't be missing much. So enjoy your brunch. Looking for a Dumble style amp, what would I recommend? Well, actually, Jake might be able to help you with this as well. But I bought one of those VHT D50 things, which is like the cheapest Dumble clone going. You can find some of the reviews for that on my channel if you want to. Jake's got it at the moment, but we're both kind of quite impressed by it for the money. I've had a carrier tone OTS as well, which again is really good, but it's about, well, quite a bit more expensive than the VHT D50 by the time you've added in shipping charges and import and all that stuff. And while the carrier tone is great, it's also incredibly heavy, whereas the VHT D50 was kind of light, it's kind of cheap, but still is doing pretty much very similar tonal things. So that would be the thing that I would recommend, I think. I don't know if Jake would say the same. For other Dumble stuff, I think you have to go quite expensive. If I was on a date with Halle Berry, I wouldn't be, because I have a fiance, and she's not Halle Berry. So maybe I would use the HX Flex into the front of the HX Stomp. That's the way that I would do that. That's not worked. The song is this, I'll find it for you, or I'll find my version of it for you. What's it when she... That's the tune. It's a song by Randy Newman. There you go, Jake. The Albanian living in Austria who apparently goes to uni or college in Paris. I'll show you how to play it in person, mate. I don't know, you're welcome. I know the one there. Yeah, I'm liking the Silver Sky a bit more than I potentially wanted to. I think I prefer it to the Fender Custom Shop thing that I've got. Hey Jim, how you doing? Hope you're well. Hey Simon. will try something else. I'm going to try the Dr. Z preset because that was fun. Why use the stomp as the main output if using the HX effects? Well, you could do it in four cable. The reason is that I'm thinking about having the HX effects as a like a pedal board in front of the stomp. So I would usually use a stomp just by itself. So that would be my amp tones. So I chuck the HX effects in front of it. For that reason, it's basically to keep things relatively simple. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's horribly warm over here at the moment, Grenell, so. How are you liking the new X, Grenell? I think this particular Fender Custom Shop neck is not, but Wayne is right, there's a lot more variation within the Fender range. They certainly do some baseball batty stuff, which yeah, as Mr. Ford says, the idea for me is to try and keep things relatively simple if possible, especially when you're gigging and stuff. I don't think you want to be trying to troubleshoot with things that are too crazy difficult. Hey TCM, how you doing? You're right. So Perry might be one of the key reasons that I was interested in a PRS Silver Sky at all, and I think he was right. Fair, he gets called his real name in other places. Can you shut up, Ruben? He gets called his real name in other places where he gets far more exposure than here, so we're gonna go with it. I think the guy from Simon Law, is it, just followed Jake on Instagram this week. Oh yeah, by the way, Jake, this is Dodgem Blue, apparently. Kind of looks a bit green. Is it the case that he's doing it? He's selling the exotic. Is that to get another K line? Oh, thanks, big boy. What was I about to ask? I don't know. I've forgotten what I was about to say. Sorry, it's probably irrelevant. Hi, Daniel. hopefully, yeah, some people enjoy some of the tones in the preset bundle. I'm not trying to rip anyone off. That's why I trying to price it cheaply. So hopefully anyone who's got a HX Stomp or Helix and is thinking, I like some of the tones that John gets, you can get all of them basically. I think for £5 is the everything bundle, or you can get most of them for £3. The idea is just to try and make it a little bit more fun to a couple of people potentially. It looks very much teal to me. Yeah, it's like they call it Dodge and blue, I don't know. It's somewhere between blue and green, isn't it? It's a bit of a weird colour. Question, any suggestion for monitoring? Right, we've got battery outage. Hold on, I'll just top that up. Yeah, I've got a few presets for Axe FX 3, and all of my FM3 presets will work on an Axe FX 3 as well. So, if you like my other nonsense, you might dig that. Suggestion for monitoring HX Stomp in front of house. Do you mean like what you'd have on stage as a monitor? I need to experiment with this myself personally, but I'm thinking probably power cab is what I might be trying, since I've got one that Yamaha let me borrow, loan, whatever the word is. I want to try that before I give any kind of conclusions on it. The other option, which might be cheaper if you've already got a cab that you like, so for instance I got some Mezabugi cabs, and I'm thinking a Seymour Duncan power stage. I've got one of those as well to try, so I'll go between the two of those to see which does a better job for me, I think is the way that I want to try this. Just so that I'm not just saying I'm recommending a power cab because someone let me borrow one or gave me one or whatever. I want to kind of give it a fair shake, and I've used the power cab in the house and downstairs, done some filming with it, and it's been cool. And I did use one for a Yamaha Pacifica video that they wanted me to do, and I kind of dig it, but I don't know how that will translate live. But I'm thinking I'll need to use some high cuts and stuff like that. When I've tried that in the room with a real cab, it kind of, to me, it seemed to do pretty good things. But yeah, I'll also try it with like a Meza 1x12 and a Seymour Duncan power stage. Those would be the two first things that I'd suggest. David Beebe also recommends the Friedman full range flat response monitor. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but he says that one kind of does some really good things, so maybe check that out. Krenar's got another suggestion there, the Boss Katana, if you've got one of those. I think, yeah, making use of things you've already got lying around the house is probably a good idea. That was what I liked about the power stage idea, because I've already got cabs, so if I just had a power stage, it'd be like an extra little thing which I could use as part of a rig to do that other thing. Back down to 4 or 5 guitars instead of 10. It's a noble goal. I've sold a couple of things, but they ended up getting another. Yeah, the worst case scenario with the IEM of the house mix. That the thing that worked quite well for me though. That 5-watt guy might be here. He's probably lurking in the shadows. The IEM thing. So my recommendation, if you've got an HX Stomp, take your own mixer, this is what I found worked best for me, and put that between the headphones. So your headphone out goes into the mixer, and then on that mixer you're boosting your bass and stuff, so that doesn't affect the front of house. That was what really worked quite well for me. That's the best kind of experience that I've had with IEM. So just again, you put a mixer between your HX Stomp and your ears, and you boost the bass on that, just so you've got something which feels a bit more normal. You know, you're compensating for the in-ear monotonous, and then you're sending to the front of house. They can do what they like with it, and it doesn't affect you. That's the only way that I've found that IEMs are enjoyable for me personally. So take that and ignore it or whatever. I don't know. I don't like IEMs for guitar tone generally, but that made it kind of livable. And just make sure your sound guy isn't sending you back something which has like a low cut on it, because that feels dreadful to play. Those are my suggestions. And then I guess the other thing is the global EQ that would be what I save for live, you know, so that's why I don't use the global EQ at home, just because you've got like a thing which could save the day on an actual gig. If you're already using the global EQ, then maybe you'd have a bit of a, yeah. We have limited options in Manila, so more like buy from the US, for example, and then test. Yeah, well, then maybe go for the cheapest option first. If you find that's the idea, I guess, for me. If you find something cheap that works, for me, I think there are a lot of expensive full-range flat response options out there, like Matrix and Gemini and those things. I'm not sure. For me, I feel like that would be a good way for me to spend my money, if you know what I mean. If I was spending that much money on an FR, I think I'd just take out a real amp. The idea with me for the modelling stuff is that it should be lighter or cheaper or more convenient in some way. If it ends up being massively expensive, and if it ends up me taking quite a bunch of things, you know, like big monitors and stuff, then to be honest, I might as well just take a real amp. I don't know if anyone else feels that same way. Yeah, I think it's really impossible to tell what an FRFR sounds like on YouTube anyway. It is definitely possible to work out what a model is going to sound like, because effectively if someone like me is playing direct into your monitors like you are now, if you grabbed this preset, which is the Dr. Z preset, which you can get in the description if you really want it, what it sounds like to you right now will be exactly what it sounds like. And so yeah, that would be that'd be fine, but yeah, it's really difficult to send the FRFR thing. The I Resent Doing This says the Line 6 power cab is used by a bunch of YouTubers like Rhett Scholl, Steve Stalacci and Jason Sudeikis and Chad Husky. The only issue that I'd say is that with all of those chaps are sort of affiliated, aren't they? In the same way that if I was to tell you that I use the power cab, I've got one on loan from Yamaha, so it's a bit of a. I know David Beebe is not affiliated with anyone. He has both a power cab and the Laney full range flat response one, and I think he said that he prefers the speaker modelling from the power cab, but if he's using it in flat mode, you know, FRFR mode, he prefers the feel of the Laney. I think the Laney's a little bit cheaper, so yeah. Hey Aiden, how you doing? Still got that Van Wilden. Yeah, QSC make really, really good PA speakers. I think Yamaha DXR 12s might also be a good sort of mid-price option. A little bit cheaper than a QSC, a little bit more expensive than an Alto or Headrush. I used Yamaha DXR 15s for my PA. What's the name of the tune that I started with? That's in the wee small hours. So yeah, I will do it. I'll do a chart. So in the wee small hours, I'll do that, and I'll try and record a version this evening. That's the plan. I've got to go and take my PA somewhere, but that's the plan. I'll try and get that sorted, and a backing track as well. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this tune, and it's going to be a dedication for someone who watches some of my videos. I think he'll know who he is. But yeah, I just really like the tune, and yeah, so I wanted to give it a try. So hopefully I'll be able to record a half decent version of it. But you never know, do you? Probably be awful. Oh, here he is. Well, this is awkward. So, B-Boy, I do have this Fender Strat, but I kind of prefer some other things. I don't know who the composer is yet. I'm definitely a Fender fan. I do think they designed some of the best guitars ever made. I just think that at the moment, some other people could make a Strat a bit better than Fender, maybe, in some cases. I don't know. Even their custom shop are making guitars in quite substantial numbers, and I've played a couple of Fender custom shops which are really nice, but they're also really expensive versus, you know, K-Line are the Strats that I play mostly, but I don't have anything against Fender at all. They're great instruments. Congratulations. I've just done that wrong. So that's what I'm working on today, Keith. favourite pickups for Strats are a lot of Dirty Blondes out of what I've played, which is a limited amount of pickups, but I just really like the way a lot of Dirty Blonde sounds. That's been my experience. Chris Buck is cool. Cool, right, so since I've got to try and record this tonight, have I tried the Seymour Duncan Everything Axe set? No, I have not. I've not tried any Seymour Duncan stuff except for what is in some Yamaha guitars. I feel like they sort of got overexposed by doing those kind of Seymour design sets and all those things. For me, the name Seymour Duncan lost a bit of juice. David Mann, cool. Jim, I imagine if you message them, they'll know what you mean. I think it's not necessarily a set. It's like, it's two vintage blondes and then one slightly hotter bridge pickup. But I'm sure they still do them in some form. If not, you could ask Chris at K-Line to do it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they still will do that kind of set. But you can find some stuff saying it. Have you ever used an EQ block as a cavi emulator? Uses a Boss G7 as his amp. Jason Sudeikis and Terence Young talk about that sort of thing, don't they? Right, so it's too hot, so I'm going to stop doing this for a minute. Thank you for everyone who stopped by. I'll try and sort out a video. The wedding's late, all chores now. Did you recognise the tune, Keith, or not? Probably not. Sorry, I played it badly. I think the main difference with the Lollard blondes is that they've got slightly different. I think they use Alnico 2s and 4s or something, whereas a lot of pickups these days they use Alnico 5s, I think. Yeah, right. I need to try and record this tune, so I'll try and make that happen. As I say, the chord melody will go up on Patreon. And what else? The backing track will, and it will be dedicated to a certain someone. Hopefully he'll enjoy it. But yeah, hope you all have a great Sunday. I can turn the fan on now because it will be not too noisy. Blonde should be 50 spec. Pickup chat. Right, I'll catch you in a bit. Cheers.